let's look at the next one and talking about convergence. The next mega trend is IT and OT security convergence. So again, very good to segue into a lot of these mega trends because there's a little bit of a common red thread as you go from one to the other.
Yeah, yeah. So we are seeing data silos break down, right?
Yes.
You mentioned, in your earlier conversation, building automation, access control, video surveillance. We'll have elevator systems. We've got environmental stuff going on. Um, all of these subsystems uh, tend to have their own data silos, though.
They do.
So how do we break these silos down so that we can leverage these data sets amongst our subsystems to, for better business continuity and efficiencies, right? And a big part of that is needing that better hygiene around your
Mhm.
data and data volumes, so that your systems would be able to share that data. And like I alluded to earlier, there are other stakeholders showing up at the table, not just data scientists and
Yep.
IT, but you could have somebody from I've had folks from marketing there going,
Yes.
how do I count the people? How do I
Yep.
understand where the traffic's going? Where should I be focusing our efforts on getting messages to our consumers or patrons as they come through our facility, as an example. So this need for breaking down data silos is really going to be driven by organizations that want to leverage their data, really, at the end of the day,
Yes.
for to improve their business efficiencies. So we are going to start seeing these players at the table. I already know that, we've been sitting in meetings and we've had IT taking part in security
Yep.
conversations. That's been going on for a while
Oh, they
now.
have. Yeah.
It's really, we're just going to start seeing more and more new players come to the table as they want to leverage this data as enterprise data.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the nail right there with the hygiene aspect because I think from my perspective, coming from the vendor and device side, those conversations with IT has always been about management because they have to
Yeah.
manage other devices on the network too. And now you throw in thousands of IP cameras and other sensors, and they're like, okay, how do I keep this all within conformant of my security policies, but still allow the operational folks to get what they need to get done, and that's always been there for the last couple of years, and that's why I think as industry we have to be very cognizant on the IT approach of hygiene and the device and how the IT teams they're basically the at the driver's seat. They're the admins of managing and making sure these devices are up and running, that are valid to work and things like that. And basically, it's the security teams and all these other teams that will use the devices for other means. That's all they're worried about is I just want to be able to use the data, right? But the
Right.
upkeep and everything is where IT comes into play, and I think that's another very key thing about the hygiene aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know from a data perspective, I know one of the other key things is talking about systems now not being proprietary, having open APIs, open SDKs, so that there is better integration, better cross pollination between systems, and just using open standards. I know the biggest thing from a data perspective is a lot of organizations are now adopting to like even MQTT as a way to send data out of your devices into a central repository where basically someone can basically manage all the different data points that are coming out of MQTT. So I think that's going to be very key, and that convergence is going to happen. And I feel that the convergence is going to go beyond IT and OT as we start to break those silos start to break down. So
Yeah.
perfect, yeah. So moving on to the
Perfect
next.
segue to the next one.
I know, right?
Perfect
Yeah,
segue.
yeah. I mean, this is like all like very perfect here.